Hey everybody, we're back. Welcome back to Pop Culture Philosophers, Robbie Rants Live here on August 20th on a Monday evening. Wait just a minute for you guys to get back in. I know it's kind of become a tradition here that the stream somehow crashes in the middle of it, and we have to do a part two. This was totally my fault this time because I didn't actually have the power cord plugged in. Isn't that crazy? What's up, guys? Thanks for coming back. Once you're back, let me know what is up. I honestly don't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about feet, hiding feet, comic book artists. Oh yes, they used to do this trick. So they'd have they would have the hero coming at you like this, and their legs would be like in such a way that you didn't have to draw the feet. You just had to draw the thigh. Thighs were way easier because thighs are just that. And every once in a while you want to put a little bit detail, and it's just something like that, right? There you go. There you go. Guy, how you doing? We got more people back. How are you guys doing? Sorry for the delay there. That was completely my bad. Now I'm doodling. Anyway, so yes, we got a new show. It's Robbie's Top 5. People have been giving me suggestions on these live streams, and I've been writing them down. I'll get to some of them, I'm sure. But the next episode, which is episode 2, comes out this Thursday. So Thursday morning, hopefully here on YouTube at Pop Culture Philosophers, you'll be able to have the second episode of Robbie's Top 5, which is Top 5 Batman comics. So I was very excited for that. Episode 3 is going to be Superman comics. Episode 4 is going to be Vault comics. Episode 1 is up right now. It was Top 5 Fantastic Four comics. I'm starting off with a bunch of comic book videos, then we're going to do some movie ones and then blend it all together. What we're going to do. So that's going to release every 2 weeks. So every other Thursday, there should be a new episode of Robbie's Top 5 available. And then towards the end of September, we are launching a new show called Comics Revisited, where me and Brooks look back at past comic book storylines. And that's going to debut, and it's going to be every other week on Thursday, and it's going to alternate with Robbie's Top 5. And that starts with Venom Lethal Protector towards the end of September. What's up, Jake? Thank you. Thoughts on Brad Meltzer's JLA. All right. I like Identity Crisis. I really like the tornado, whatever that was, the Red Tornado story, the Tornado's Path or something like that, and then Lightning Strikes, right? Something like that. That's what he did, and I really, really like it. I also really like his Green Arrow run. I'm actually a fan of Brad Meltzer. I have a lot of his novels, but I've never read one of his novels. But he did a show on History Channel called Decoded, and I really, really liked that show. And I follow him on Facebook, and he just seems like a cool guy. I really like his mind. I really like his writing, so I do like his JLA run a lot. I think it's really good. You're right. I think the last good new sidekick has been The Signal. Duke Thomas is pretty dope. But I think he's been underutilized. Yeah, issue 6 of Ice Cream Man was amazing. It was the pick of the week. The pick of the week could have been the Batman issue. It could have been Extermination even. But I was so impressed with that Ice Cream Man issue. I really thought that was a cool concept, a cool execution. I really liked it. Well, I don't want to spoil my top 5, but I will tell you that Batman the Cult did not make it. There's a lot of good Batman comics, guys. I will tell you that 2 of them are Frank Miller books, but that shouldn't surprise anybody. But where are they? In what order? But yeah, I've been loving doing these top 5 videos so far. I filmed the first 2, obviously. I have filmed the Batman one already. I'm about to start working Superman and Vault comics and then other things. I got some good ideas from people here. I have never watched Venture Brothers, ever. I hear so many good things about that show, but I've never, ever watched it. I was kind of a Johnny Quest fan, but I wasn't full board into Johnny Quest. I know that it's kind of like a riff on that. I guess, should I watch it? Because I hear it's really, really good. Do you want to know my thoughts on All-Star Batman and Robin? I really don't like All-Star Batman and Robin at all. There's nothing about it I like, unfortunately. So I don't really talk about it. It's one of my biggest disappointments in comics. It really is. And they keep teasing us, saying that they're gonna finish it, and I'm like, don't threaten us. But that's just my opinion, for what it's worth. Top 5 single issue comics. That's definitely one we're gonna do. Let's look at some more X-Men toys. I love X-Men toys, guys. These X-Men toys from the 90s. This stuff was my jam, dude. Like, I totally had so many of these. I pulled up Kylan. Kylan's the most random character from Excalibur, and I bought this because it was like $1, and that's why I bought it. Like, this is not typically one you would want, but he did come in the series. What series was he in? Because they're showing an older series. Oh my goodness, the Beast Morph series was awesome. It had Albert in it, Silver Samurai. Anyway, even when I was a kid, I remember getting. Yeah, he's from the series. The series that had Rogue and it has some of the Starjammers in it. That's right, because the pictures are right up there. Man, this figure, I don't know. I remember his mutant power being like he could mimic any sound that he heard. I remember this dude one time. He was somebody I used to look up to when I was a kid. He had a lot of comic book knowledge. And I was like, what's the purpose? That's the dumbest mutant power ever. He's like, nah, dude. Like, seriously, a jet flies by, you mimic the sound at your enemy. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But I bought all these X-Men figures when I was a kid. I didn't even know who that character was. I still think I've only read like 2 or 3 comic books with that character. Oh, this was a great figure, this Sabretooth one. This was great because the first Sabretooth figure, which I don't know if you can see it, but it's that one right there. I have one loose in a crate somewhere, a box somewhere. That was cool. And it had the little healing factor thing where it had like you could switch his stomach back and forth. And it was a claw and it was healed. But this was the one where it was like this reflected in the 90s what he wore in the comic books and in the X-Men animated series. And I love it. You squeeze his legs and he goes, ah. I really like it. That's a cool figure. I love that one. Love it. Oh, well, no then, Jake. All-Star Batman and Robin is not on my top 5. I'll tell you that. Yeah, comic guy, I'll check it out sometime. Absolutely. All-Star Superman is one of the best Superman comics ever. I guarantee you that's on the top 5 Superman comics that comes out for episode 3. Guarantee you. Oh, man. Top 5 unfinished series? Oh, you mean like currently? Because I was thinking like series that never actually finished. Because there's a bunch of series that just end. Sometimes they like kind of wrap it up real quick. That'd be a cool top 5 too. I've never read Project Superpowers. I have typically not read a lot of Dynamite comics. So I haven't read that, and I haven't read the new one. I've heard some decent things about it. Yeah, if I had to personally pick the new director for Guardians 3, other than James Gunn, I would pick the cat that did Thor Ragnarok. It seems like he could do it, and he's already part of the Marvel Studios crew, and I think he could come in and kind of do it. I'm glad they're using Gunn's script. I really wish they would have rehired him, though. Wow, if I was in charge of writing a miniseries for Superman, what 3 things would I do? Number 1, I would make sure that every artist drew Superman when he's doing something superhero-y from a human's perspective. I don't want it to seem commonplace when Superman does these super things. I want it to look like us looking up at him, right? Second thing I would do is I would put a big focus in on some mythology, some mythological elements from like other sun gods and messianic type figures, things like that. I would look really hard at the stories of things like Jesus Christ, Horus, Apollo, Osiris. I would really look hard at those kind of stories and those themes and how they resonated with people in the ancient days, and I would apply that to Superman. I think that some of the best Superman writers have done that. For instance, Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman, I think, does that splendidly well. And the third thing I would do is I wouldn't create too many new villains or anything like that, but I would make sure that it is known that Superman's got one of the best rogues galleries out there. I would use Lex Luthor highly as a villain that Superman just can never like touch. That's awesome. I would use Parasite. I would use Brainiac. I would use Metallo. I would use Bizarro. I would use all these. It's a whole plethora of villains that Superman has that are just super tough. I'd use Mongol. I would have big threats that only Superman could stop. And I would make it in such a way that only Superman could do it. Not the Justice League, but only Superman. That's what I would do. So if they like, I don't know, if DC ever called me up and said, what do you think? That's what I would tell them off the dome. Watch Matt Draper's video on All-Star Superman. I don't know who that is, but I'll check it out. I'll look it up one day. What am I going to do with all these figures? Play with them. No, I don't know. I used to always open all of my figures, so I have a lot of open figures. I started not opening them because we had a brief run on this show called PCP Toys. Didn't really work out the way I wanted to, and I didn't really have the time to continue it at the time. So I was not opening these figures so we could do reviews and open them up and talk about them. And I was really cool with doing that. But then I realized how much I liked still having these figures in package. And the nostalgia factor of that, too, of seeing it in package the way it looked on the shelf at Toys R Us and Walmart and things like that. So what I usually do with these is some of them stay stored and then some of them get displayed. A lot of them get displayed on the video set, and I kind of try to alternate them in and out. I'm going to try to do a better job of that because I don't have as much space. So I just kind of like showing them off, things like that. That's what I'm doing right now. Ultimately, they'll be sold. Ultimately, they'll be sold, I'm sure. Yeah, I would do a crazy Mixus Pitalik story. I'd make sure that was going to be done. Well, thank you. Tim Burton coming back to a DC film. I actually wouldn't want to see that. I think that Tim Burton's, I don't know. I wouldn't like to see that personally. I don't know though. Yeah, I don't know. If he did another character, Deadman seems like something. I'd like to see Tim Burton do a Deadman movie. Bring back Connor. That's a good idea, actually. I like Off the Dome. Yeah, I stopped reading Sideways, buddy. I just didn't really like it so much. And I have not seen Cloak and Dagger. I've been kind of wanting to check it out, actually. I hear it's kind of teeny, kind of teen soap opera-y. That's why I don't watch the CW shows. They just kind of have a little too much of that for me. But I haven't seen Cloak and Dagger. Anybody else? How is Cloak and Dagger? I haven't seen Runaways either. Which artist would I most like to see pencil Superman? Well, before Bendis came on, it was Ivan Reyes. Seriously. And now he's doing it. Outside of that, who would I like to see draw Superman that hasn't really done it? Jeff Shaw would be cool. I think Jeff Shaw could do something cool with Superman. Yeah, I'd like to see Francis Manapul do an extended run on the title. Right now I'm going to go with Jeff Shaw. I'd like to see Chris Samney on a Superman title. That would be really, really cool. I haven't seen Deadpool 2. I don't really like Deadpool, so I didn't watch Deadpool 1 or 2. But I heard that Deadpool 2 is kind of cool, and I'm tempted to watch it because I do like Cable, and I like Josh Brolin. And Josh Brolin as Cable seems kind of like spot on, but I hear that they don't really do too much with Cable. But I may check out 2 one day. I'm not sure. Yeah, I would not cast Nicolas Cage as Superman. I don't know why anybody ever thought that was a good idea. I don't know if I would say Tim Burton is past his prime, because I guess I may not have seen some of his last couple films. But yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't think he's as consistent as he used to be. In the 90s, Tim Burton was a very, very consistent director. Um, in the 80s and 90s. And then he kind of got inconsistent. Even though he was doing films I loved, like Sweeney Todd and Big Fish, he was also doing films like Planet of the Apes and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I didn't really respond so well to those ones. Though I didn't think Charlie was that bad of a film, but I really did not like Planet of the Apes. So I don't know. I don't know what his last couple films are. He did that one with the big-eyed woman, right? I didn't watch that one, I think. Yeah. Yeah, Jeff Shaw. I think Jeff Shaw and Superman would be cool. I only read the first issue of that Neil Adams Dead Man book. I liked the glow-in-the-dark cover. I thought that was neat. Your favorite Nick Cage is Nick Cage in Raising Arizona. You know, I grew up hating that movie. I hated Raising Arizona for some reason. And I now am a huge Coen Brothers fan. Like, I'm a huge Coen Brothers fan. And when I first discovered the Coen Brothers, it was, you know, Fargo, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, Big Lebowski. And then I was like, they did Raising Arizona? I hate that movie. I hate that movie so much. I recently rewatched it like a year or two ago because we did a Coen Brothers podcast here at PCP. And so I rewatched all the Coen Brothers films. And man, that's a fun movie. That's a fun movie. That whole chase scene that's in the middle of that movie, it's amazing. I love it so much. My favorite Nick Cage, though, in a movie. You know, I'll be honest with you guys. I really like Gone in 60 Seconds, the Nick Cage one. I really do. I think that's a good movie. I actually still own it on Blu-ray. I think that's good. I really do like him in that. I like my favorite Nick Cage hair in a movie, though, is definitely Con Air. I think that's pretty cool. I think the skullet's a good look for him. Derek, I am most looking forward to Wasted Space and Venom coming out this week. And West Coast Avengers. What's up, Ninja Stalker Gaming? I work at a comic book store. As someone just answered. You know, I really do like The Rock. I think The Rock is a very underrated film. And as much as sometimes we like to trash talk Michael Bay, The Rock is awesome. And I really also do like Armageddon. 8mm was, I didn't like that one. I remember watching that one. Was that one like 98? So it would have been like 17 or something. That was too much for me. I didn't like it. Never liked it. I really liked Face Off back in high school. I really liked Face Off back in high school. And I haven't watched it since. I probably wouldn't think as much of it today. Comic Guy, do a Hulk movie review. Which Hulk movie? You talking about the Ang Lee one? Because we did the Incredible Hulk. We did that one already. But we haven't done the Ang Lee Hulk, which I don't think is as bad as some people think. I think it's got some problems. Yeah, Ross, I really like Baby Teeth. I think Baby Teeth is good. Also, if you're a Donny Cates fan, the new issue of Rednecks this week. Yeah, Comic Guy, we did the one with Ed Norton. It was the second episode of Movie Monday because we started with the MCU rewatch and we did Iron Man, then we did Incredible Hulk. So if you go back and check out Movie Monday episode 2, we did the Incredible Hulk. But one day we will do the Ang Lee Hulk, I guarantee you. You know what's really cool though, Alicia, about Face Off is, and this is still impressive to me, is that John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. Okay, so Nick Cage won an Oscar, right? Because he played in Leaving Las Vegas, right? So that's like an Oscar bait type movie. But they're not really known as the best actors, right? But they really did kind of study each other's mannerisms and the way they talk and the way they move and their syntax and all that stuff. I thought that was really neat in Face Off. Plus, like John Woo, so you shoot someone and they fly like 10 feet in the air. Sometimes that's all you want out of a movie. Yeah, I used to have The Rock and Criterion on. I used to have The Rock and Armageddon on Criterion, but I don't anymore. But I should. Yeah, I remember that. I want to take his face off. Like, you have to explain the title of the movie to us because it's a double meaning. Oh. Yeah, man, it's there. Could Cage play an old Joker? No. If you want to do an old Joker, cast Willem Dafoe. I read some manga. I don't read anything current. I like Akira. That's pretty much the only manga that I really like have in my collection and really have ever read, I think, maybe. Yeah, I think so. I do not read Black Science. I read it for like 7 issues. I read Deadly Class, but I'm behind. I read East to West, but I'm behind. I do not read Saga. Batman Kings of Fear, I'm really looking forward to Kelly Jones's artwork, but I just don't know what to expect out of it. Terrifics is going to be cool because they're finally getting to Tom Strong, and that's cool. Well, thank you, Comic Guy. We appreciate that. Yeah, John Woo. John Woo directed Face Off, did he not? I'm pretty sure he did. John Travolta did play the best Nick Cage ever. You know, we were talking about Nick Cage movies that we really like. I have always loved Honeymoon in Vegas. Of course, I'm a James Caan fan. I love the way he delivers dialogue so much. From The Godfather to Way of the Gun and Honeymoon in Vegas in between. I love James Caan. Love him. Yeah, Venom's really, really good right now. All the Doves, that's John Woo. He should have directed When the Doves Cry video. Could you imagine that? Like, it'd be the same video, but with like people just getting blown away. We will get more of Hickman's Black Monday Murders. When? I have no idea. I don't know what Jonathan Hickman does. I really don't. I know he took a month off to watch the World Cup, so that may have affected some scripts being a little bit late. But other than that, I have no idea what he does with his time. Have you shown me that, Daniel Tosh, bit about John Woo? I'm pretty sure you have. Willem Dafoe is like if you did Dark Knight Returns as a live action film, Willem Dafoe as the Joker, do it. Phenomenon. Is that the one? Is that the one where he's like an alien, or he gets touched by? I don't know. He's like a genius or something. I don't remember. I remember Michael, where he's the angel, Mikael, I guess. But I'm like, that's crazy. James Caan is an elf. Nick Cage does some weird movies, though, man. This dude doesn't have a no button, it seems like. That's not a bad thing. I think other actors, I love Samuel L. Jackson. I don't think he has a no button. Sure, I'll do it, whatever. You paying me? Sure, I'll do it. Fuck it. I didn't watch the last season of The Flash. I stopped watching Flash after season 3. Stopped watching Arrow after season 4. Stopped watching Supergirl in season 2. And only watched the first half of Legends of Tomorrow season 1. I quit the CW Arrowverse cold turkey a couple years ago, and I have never felt better. And I did it without a sponsor. Way of the Gun is great. Great, is it not? Like, Way of the Gun is one of the best movies out there. Nobody respects it. Nobody gives it. It's amazing. It's got great dialogue. It's written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who wrote Usual Suspects. He just directed the new Mission Impossible film, guys. You guys are all like, I don't know, people are really digging that one, right? Way of the Gun is great. It's a modern-day Western. It's such a good movie. Ryan Phillippe, Benicio del Toro, James Caan, Taye Diggs. Wasn't Nicky Cat in that movie, too? God. What a great cast. Juliette Lewis, amazing cast, amazing script, great dialogue, some of the best dialogue I've ever seen. It's perfect. Every line that is written for James Caan's character in that is amazing. And he taught me the word judicate. And every time I watch The Godfather, I really just hope that somehow magically, right, the Mandela effect has happened and Sonny doesn't die. But that would be a whole different movie series, would it not? He had to die, but it sucks. I hate it when Sonny dies. Like, That's one of the most painful scenes in the movie for me to watch. I don't know why. I love James Caan so much. Well, thank you, Ninja Stalker. I saw a comment. It just kept like, ugh. Zatanna's in the last issue of Sideways? I didn't know that. And there's a Sideways annual that's going to have a Grant Morrison story. That's kind of messed up. William Dafoe do a one-man play as Schmeagol. That's awesome. Juan, I'll probably watch the first episode of Batwoman and then determine it from there. I just don't have a lot of faith in CW shows. I didn't even try Black Lightning, and I really want to because I like that character. I don't have a lot of faith in what DC's doing with live-action television right now. I'm going to watch the first episode of Titans just so I can report on it to you guys, but I'm not looking forward to it at all. At all. Yeah, those shows, I mean, for people, I know a lot of people, a lot of friends personally that love those CW shows, and they're addicted to them, and I'm happy for them. But man, I really thought that Arrow was great when Deathstroke was there, and it was the villain. The best episode they did was when Deathstroke shows up, and Ollie's mom's like giving him the tour of the house. Like that's like the peak of Arrow for me. I love season 1 of Flash. I love it. I did a YouTube show called The Deep's Flashback about season 1 of The Flash, and I loved it. But man, it just the same story every year. The same story every year. The same story every year. Speedster villain. Some cast member is the speedster villain. Hate it. Hate it. We need an animated Batman movie sequel to Year One called The Black Mirror. Well, The Black Mirror is a great story, and I would love to see The Black Mirror adapted into a DC animated film. It's the Scott Snyder story with Dick Grayson when he's Batman. It's a great story. It's got artwork by Jock and Francisco Francavilla. Fantastic, amazing, beautiful, brilliant artwork, a great story. I would love to see that as a DC animated film. But if you're going to do a sequel to Year One, I think you need to do The Long Halloween. It is a sequel to Year One, and I think it's a great comic book. Top 5 films that scare me. Frailty's on my list. Frailty scares me. The movies that scared me the most as a kid, believe it or not, are going to be The Exorcist, Gremlins, and Jurassic Park. Yes, I've seen Shawshank Redemption. I love it. I think it's the best movie based on the Stephen King work. If you knew you are going to die in another few minutes and as an option to only take one single issue of a comic book to heaven, what would I take? Oh, that's weird. That's a weird question. One single issue of a comic book to take with me into the afterlife. Fantastic Four #5. First appearance of Dr. Doom. And the Thing revealed as Blackbeard. Black Lightning's not good. Yeah, see, I'm worried about it. My thoughts on the new streaming service from DC. I was kind of down for it at first. I really was. I'm a big DC guy, guys. You know that. I'm a big Marvel guy too. I love comic books. I love superheroes. So of course I'm down for DC. Like I just love the whole DC universe, right? So I was very excited for that. New series. They're going to have their catalog on there. They're going to have some comics on there. I'm really thinking that their comic books are going to be like just things that are tying into what's coming up with like TV and movies. It's going to like not have a lot of depth to it. And I don't like that they're not really down with Comixology's service. You know, Marvel's getting more down on that. Like I have right now, like All New Wolverine is available on Comixology Unlimited. That's cool. I'm trying to get more into the digital comics realm because they're doing some new original stuff there. If they would have a really nice backlog of comic books that you can read, especially on a reader like a Kindle or something like that, I think that would be really cool. But you get the big selling point, first of all, is going to be, their back catalog of animated series and live action series, and it seems like that's going to be a little bit limited. Plus, like me personally, I already own a lot of that stuff. I already have all the Batman the animated series. I have every Batman movie. I have every Superman movie. I have all that stuff. I have the animated series. I have the animated movies, things like that. So that's a part of it. So the new original shows are the big draw, and I did not like the Titans trailer, so I'm nervous about it. Event Horizon's a good movie, and it is a little creepy. I've never read the Shawshank Redemption short story. Do you have it, Alicia? Should I read it? I'm a handful of pages from done with Dark Tower Book 4. So I need something small to fill in some gaps before I tackle Book 5. Another Batman anthology could be really cool, but I would like to have each one of those series that you mentioned, Long Halloween, Dark Victory, Black Mirror, have their own movie. That would be amazing. That'd be cool. I don't like the majority of comic book TV shows. I really don't. I'm with you, Comics Most Wanted. Don't like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Don't like the Arrowverse. Oh, no. That's just me. I haven't watched The Gifted. I heard Legion's good, but I haven't watched Legion. When I met Chris Claremont, got to hang out with him for a little bit. That's all he would want. Like, he talked about it a lot. He was really happy with the Legion. Now, if it has every issue of Action Comics to Rebirth, that's cool. That's cool. But it seemed like they only had like some of the Golden Age stuff, some of the new stuff. It depends on what they have. I'm going to try it out, and I'm going to give you guys a full report. DC Universe Online. I mean, not DC Universe. That was the game, right? Whatever they call this, I can't remember what they're calling it. But I'm gonna subscribe to like at least the first month. I'm gonna let you guys know. John, I did talk about it in the first part of this live stream. I just read it before the live stream, and I was just slightly disappointed in the Luke Cage book. I kind of like the idea, but I don't know. I didn't really like the execution of it well. I wasn't feeling the art. I wasn't feeling the flow of the story, and I thought Luke Cage did some things in there that didn't make sense to me. But that's just me. I think it's cool that they're doing these books. I loved Jessica Jones. I'm going to check out more of the Luke Cage book. And they're doing an Iron Fist one too, right? What's up, Buff Muffin? Legion is great, very Lynchian. Well, that could go either way. Oh, well, thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. We do a podcast. It's on hiatus right now because basically I got 3 rooms of stuff now, including the studio, to fit into one tiny room. So we're still working that out, but I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. So I'm kind of proud of myself, but it's been a busy couple weeks. But I'm hoping to get this all set up and ready to do podcasting again very soon because I miss it. I miss it so much. I'm fiending for podcasting. But I appreciate you, Stephanie, checking out the Nintendo podcast. Video games are not necessarily my thing. And John and the rest of the gang they've wanted to do more video game content. And so that was an easy one for me to get into because the video games I do play are the old school Nintendo games. So that was a really fun podcast to do. And I do want to still buy a Virtual Boy and do a video about it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre never really scared me. When I was a kid, here's another thing that really terrified. First of all, Night of the Living Dead scared me when I was a kid. And Dawn of the Dead, all that zombie stuff, it scared the hell out of me. But the Thriller music video, when it first came out, was probably I think it came out probably before I even remember, but I remember earliest memories, maybe 4 to 5 years old. Man, that video scared the F out of me because I was a kid. I loved Michael Jackson, and then to see him turn into a zombie and a werewolf, and that video scared the crap out of me. Every time it would start and you would have Thriller starting to be spelled out, I would start screaming. I remember one time being at a babysitter's house, in the bedroom, and I'm watching TV. I guess I'm watching MTV or something. I have no idea. And that video comes on, and it starts spelling out Thriller, and I started screaming and crying. I'm serious. It's crazy. I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one, does a really good job of atmosphere. I really, really think so. I used to be a big horror movie connoisseur, and I still probably am a horror movie snob. So I don't give a lot of horror movies credit. So it takes a really special horror film to get me kind of really pumped and jazzed. The first Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not necessarily one of my favorites, but it does a great job of building atmosphere, and the sense of dread. And I like that. And even just like the gourd swinging in the wind and clanking and things like that. Like I think that's good. One of my favorite things about horror films is that it utilizes every single bit of filmmaking. Like, you got to have great music. You got to be able to do drama. You got to be able to do suspense. You got to be able to pace it right. You got to be able to have great dialogue. You got to have comedy, because it's important to kind of break up that tension with some comedy. You got to do special effects. Really, like, you got to pull every tool out of the toolbox to do a horror film. And so the ones that are really good, I think it's really good. You are, those eyes at the end of Thriller, right? And the laugh, Vincent Price's laugh. You are not alone in liking Reed Richards with a beard. I am a huge fan of Reed Richards with a beard. I want George Clooney to play Reed Richards. I want to see George Clooney with that Reed beard. That would be dreamy. Comics Most Wanted, I covered that in the weekly pop culture wrap-up, which I pretty much do every Sunday. Sometimes we skip it when there's not too much news or I'm super, super busy. But most every Sunday morning, we release a weekly pop culture wrap-up. And I talk about trailer reactions, new comic book news, things like that. I thought the Iron Fist Season 2 trailer looked really good. I thought it was pretty solid looking. I like Season 1. It's not good, but I really enjoy it because it's silly and it's fun. So, I don't know. I think it looks good. I'm not expecting too much from the DC app about their comic books. If they have a lot of like back catalog of comic books to read, that would be really, really cool. And a big, big bonus of like, of course you're going to get this, right? But right now, to me, it's going to depend on how good those shows are. Missing some Bronze Age. Maybe it'll be like Marvel Unlimited and they'll slowly start bringing more and more stuff into it. But I've never actually tried Marvel Unlimited, but I hear good things from my buddy Nick about it. Top 5 comic book characters with beards. Man. Hellboy should have more of a beard, shouldn't he? Yeah. D-Man has a nice beard right now. I'm jealous of all these good beards. George Clooney would make a great Reed Richards. I think maybe I don't think that's the age range they're going to go for. Because I wouldn't like to see George Clooney cast as Reed Richards, then like some 20-year-old actor playing Susan. That would be weird and creepy to me. But I think like a lot of people are talking about Emily Blunt and John Krasinski, is that his name? The guy that just did that Jack Ryan show. He was in A Quiet Place. They're in A Quiet Place together. A lot of people are talking about them too. That would be really cool. I would love to see a George Clooney as Reed, and I've always wanted that. Like back in the early 2000s, when they first announced the Fantastic Four movie, I was like, get Soderbergh to do it and have George Clooney in it. That would be perfect. And Oscar Isaac was my pick back then for Victor Von Doom. Yogan 22, I have seen A Quiet Place. I like the concept of it. My reaction to the last 30 minutes of the movie is that I fell asleep. Man, I think I was pretty tired that movie. I think I was pretty tired that night. And that movie did not help me. It's just, I don't know. It was really slow at parts and it was so quiet. And I get that. And I want to rewatch it. Sometimes if I watch a movie too late, I just don't get the best impression of it. That's why I won't watch a movie. Like when we do these movie Mondays and stuff, sometimes we do a new movie. Everybody wants to go Thursday night at like 10 or 11. I'm like, I won't watch one before 8 because I'll fall asleep. I guess that's just age. The James Wan Swamp Thing, that sounds cool. I'm a James Wan fan for the most part. I love Saw. I think Saw's great. I want to see what he does with Aquaman. Doing Swamp Thing and having James Wan do the pilot, that sounds like a good direction for me. I have seen Detroit Rock City. I love that movie when I was younger in high school. I've never played The Last of Us. I'm not a big video gamer. But the monsters in Quiet Place look cool. I just, got sleepy. Now, I haven't seen the Why the Last Man cast. I probably wouldn't know many of them either. This is grown in. What are you talking about? This is what I got. I can't grow any more thing in. I'd try. But thank you. I appreciate it. We're going to be wrapping up in about 5 minutes, everybody. I've had a lot of fun with you guys. Let's see. Yeah, we got Brett. What's up, Brett? Oblivion #1 sounds pretty crazy. Have you heard anything about it? I haven't, Brett. I haven't heard anything about it. I saw your post in the PCP Army. The cover didn't do much for me, but I haven't really heard much about the book, so I'll check it out. Yeah, it doesn't have the 18 in Oblivion. That's weird. Maybe they don't want to be confused with Oblivion Song or something like that. But I don't know. I'll probably check it out when it first comes out, Brett. So by the way, like I've just mentioned, we got a group on Facebook. It's called the PCP Army. If you are on Facebook, if you're into that thing, you can type PCP Army, search it, send us a request. You can join the group. It's me and a bunch of the other PCPers, Jelani, Justin, Drew, Jeremy, Alicia's on there. We have a lot of fun just sharing comic book news, comic book art, movie news, movie stuff, things like that. So it's a fun little group over on Facebook. We're having a lot of fun with it. You guys should check it out. So we just had a new movie Monday released today. It was the Gotham Knight movie, Batman Gotham Knight. It's kind of like the bridge between Batman Begins and Dark Knight. I love that movie so much. I think it's so good. So you guys should definitely check that out. Movie Monday is a fun show that me and Brooks do. We talk about movies every Monday. So that's out today. It's available right now. Tomorrow night will be the weekly comic book review. We'll be talking about Venom #5 and Wasted Space #4 and the last issue of Detective Comics by Brian Hill and things like that. It's going to be a really fun one. Thursday morning, we'll release the second episode of Robbie's Top 5, my personal top 5 Batman comics this week. And we're going to be releasing another podcast from a couple months ago on Facebook, on YouTube for you guys. So thank you guys. What do you think about the new Bendis World comics? Jinx World, I think. Jinx World is basically the umbrella of which Bendis's creator-owned stuff lies, right? I have been a Bendis fan since the 90s, since Jinx. So Jinx is a great comic book. Goldfish is a great book. Fire's okay. Torso is amazing. DC's reprinting some of that stuff. I used to be a big Powers fan, fell out of it. I just felt like the book just kept going on too long. Should have ended. I don't know. I'm a big Bendis fan from his 90s and early 2000s work. I'm loving what he's doing right now with Superman. Pearl #1 didn't impress me that much. It was all right. Really looking forward to cover #1. Really. Never read Jinx or Goldfish. You really should. You really should. That stuff's really good. And DC's reprinting Goldfish and Jinx in November. Thank you, Ross. I just saw that you asked to join the PCP Army. We'll approve that. My favorite movie of 2018 so far is Black Panther. Well, thank you guys so much. I do not like Magic Order. I fell out of it. It just didn't grab me. I don't like every single Mark Miller book I read, but I do like a lot of it. So that's it for today. So thank you guys so much for checking out Robbie Rants Live here on a Monday night. Next week, we'll be back on a regularly scheduled program at our time for Sunday at 7 o'clock Central. That's what we'll do. So thank you guys so much for rocking with us, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget, Movie Monday's up, right? Top 5 is coming on Thursday. Weekly comic book review tomorrow. Thanks for rocking with us. Peace out.